Guess he make it rain. Please KO actually the Golden Go. Okay, it's a little bit weird that it survived. We're a little bit late to the party, but everyone was using Maluka's team when he won the San Diego Regional Championship. And, you know, I had to feature on the channel at some point. So here it is. Today, we're going to be featuring the winning team from the San Diego Regional Championship. Let's get started and see how it goes. This team features Excalibur and Terra Poison Garganical, which helps against Glamora, absorbing the toxic spikes while resisting fighting and grass type attacks. The team has a fun fast mode with Choice Specs Timid Golden Go, Life Orb Mimikyu, and added Meowscarada, while having great defensive bulky options in Safety Goggles Tauros that complements the whole team well with Intimidate. It's a strong balanced team Maluka used to win the San Diego Regional Championship, going 13-2 in sets. If you would like to check out the creator, the report, and the details of the team, they'll be linked in the description down below. Indeedee, Armarouge, Meowscarada, Mousehold, Hydreigon, Murkrow. Okay, how do I mean, I think Garganical is pretty good against most of this team, especially with the Wide Guard is pretty nice. It's also good against Mousehold. The only problem is that Meowscarada can be a little bit troublesome, as well as the Hydreigon, depending on the set right here. That's one thing I'm going to have to keep an eye on. What do I want to go? The problem with this team is that this Meowscarada is actually the adamant nature, so I actually underspeed Mousehold, which isn't ideal here. Excalibur might be a really solid lead here. I actually really do like Excalibur. I think Excalibur isn't bad here with Garganical lead. I think it's a pretty solid lead just because I can threaten Icicle Spear, Wide Guard, and mainly it's the Meowscarada I'm like the most scared of right here, so I think it's like a pretty good lead. And in the back, I think Golden Go is really solid, and I don't really want to bring the Tauros because it underspeeds Hydreigon. It underspeeds all these Pokemon actually, other than like the Indeedee Armarouge mode, which I don't even know if it's actually the Trick Room set. Oh wait, this is probably Scarf. Yeah, it's actually probably Scarf Hydreigon now that I think about it. So it's okay though. I have Wide Guard and it kind of shuts down a lot of their options, I will say. So let's go for a Mimikyu, I guess, in the back. Yeah, because having the disguise, having a switch into Population Bomb from the Mousehold, it's just another extra here. It's definitely, I kind of realized that after I saw Hydreigon, I was like, oh, it's probably like the U-turn weakness policy activation on the Armarouge right here. So let's go for a Wide Guard turn one, I guess. And we're gonna see the lead of... Okay, no, they just lead straight off with the Indeedee Armarouge, which I am very happy about. Like, I do not mind this spot at all. They can't really deal damage to the Excalibur immediately, unless they want to Psychic with Indeedee. That's the only way, but I mean, I just keep going for Wide Guard, I think, with my Garganical until, like, I don't have a reason not to. So, Icicle Spear to Indeedee. Let's go for that Wide Guard. I'm kind of curious on what they go for. Helping Hand Armor Cannon, I guess will do a good amount of damage to my Excalibur. We'll see if it's actually able to pick up a knockout, but we'll find out, I guess. Follow Me is going to come out, okay. I really wonder if this is just Trick Room and the Hydreigon's kind of just like a normal Hydreigon, maybe like a crit Hydreigon to help out with like Dundozo matchups, or if it was the U-turn policy stuff after all. Excalibur is faster than the Armarouge, so I'm kind of curious on it. Able to get 4 hits with the loaded dice. Icicle Spear. Expanding Force comes out. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice turn. Didn't really have to risk too much right there. Armor Cannon would have done a good amount, but I think at the end of the day, it was expendable. I think I could just go for a Icicle Spear into the Indeedee, and I kind of want to just go for a Sulk here right here. Even if it's one of the policy sets, I think it's not too bad. I think this is probably Armor Cannon, right? I don't think you click Expanding Force here. I guess you technically could, but I mean, I should survive with at least a Garganical right here. So goodbye Indeedee. That's a pretty nice knockout right here. And you don't have a policy if you are policy, or at least it's not activated yet. So let's see what they decide to go for. Gonna be the... They did go for the Armor Cannon. They targeted down the Excalibur, which is perfect because even though I didn't get Excalibur to knock out the... And they also take the -1 defense, which is perfect for the Sulk here, but I don't need it per se. I think I could actually win this game with... Okay, it's Life Orb, so good. That's actually really good for me. That's Life Orb. Able to get a huge amount of damage with that Sulk here, and now we're going to get that residual damage on top. Oh boy, this Armarouge is a little bit in trouble right here. Now we can go out into... We have Golden Go or Mimikyu. I kind of like the Mimikyu out here. Yeah, I like Mimikyu out here. just because I could go for Shadow Claw pretty consistently and don't have to really worry about anything that my opponent could have that can just knock it out in one shot. We have the Meowscarada coming in, which is perfectly fine here. I think my play here is to always just Shadow Claw the Armor Rouge, and we go for the Sulcure with the Terra Poison here into the Meowscarada because they really cannot, again, do much to my team. And the Sulcure is wearing down the Armor Rouge, which is pretty much the only Pokemon at this point that can really stop my Garganical because, I mean, they just don't have a really big way of hitting the Garganical otherwise. So break a Focus Sash, which is really nice here. Flower Trick going to come out into, oh, perfect. They don't even break my Disguise on the Mimikyu, so Garganical able to eat up that Flower Trick with the Terra Poison. Shadow Claw going to come out and knock out the Armor Rouge, which is perfect. So Armor Rouge will go down here. And that is their Psychic attack right here. So I am able to get the Sulcure, knock out the Meowscarada, or not knock out the Meowscarada, but break Focus Sash, which is pretty important. And we'll just keep building up this residual damage over and over. And then I guess we'll see what the last Pokemon is, because I think they, like, Hydreigon just gets play roughed. Did they already use their Terra? No, they actually haven't used their Terra yet, so I guess this is still a game. This is still a game because they have the Terra here. But I try to figure out what Terra even saves them. Like, what Pokemon in Terra it has to specifically be. I guess we'll find out what Mon it is. Gonna be the Hydreigon. Yeah, like, Terra Fire doesn't save you. Terra Steel doesn't save you. Terra Poison doesn't save you. At this point, I just go for a play rough here. I guess there's no reason not to double protect here. You're not going to set up it right here. Yeah, you're not going to set up. I get to scout for the Terra because you're probably going to go for the Terra here. You might be forced to just because the Mimikyu is out on the field. So just double protect, build up the Sulcure damage into the Meowscarada, and scout for the Terra right here. Because I get to confirm, like, do I go for Shadow Claw the next turn potentially? And it is Terra Steel, so we do confirm that. Okay. All right, so safest way to win this is probably just Shadow Claw. Yeah, it's probably just Shadow Claw. They're probably targeting the Garganical, right? They double up the Garganical because they can't break through it. I think so. Let's see. Gonna be knockoff into the Garganical. Yep. This should also be like Draco Meteor, Earth Power, Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon. Yep. Okay. So they're hoping for a crit because I don't think that KOs naturally, but I am just going to switch out Garganical. It is a Pokemon that just gives me a guaranteed win condition. I also have a Golden Go in the back that is completely useless. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't go for a Dark Pulse instead of a Flash Cannon there, because they could, not only does it cover Golden Go, but I think a Flinch Chance is a bit more useful. So, because they get the crit and the Flinch Chance on top of that, but we are going to go for a Shadow Claw into the Hydreigon. We're going to go out into our Golden Go because Golden Go really, there's no point of like really keeping the Golden Go around here. We might go down to knockoff depending on this Meowscarada set, but that's completely okay at this point. Knockoff going to come out into the Golden Go. Golden Go survives, which is actually pretty good because I get to keep my Disguise on Mimikyu. They went for a Flash Cannon. This should also be in the Golden Go. Yep. Okay, perfect. We're also stalling out Psychic Terrain so I can actually go for a Shadow Sneak upcoming turns. And yeah, with Flash Cannon, you shouldn't be the Focus Energy set. Maybe your Assault Vest right here. That actually does a pretty good amount of damage, actually. Okay. Sulcure is adding up. I don't know if Shadow Sneak KOs after the next Sulcure. I mean, Garganical comes in. I guess I could actually, do I have to? I think I could just Shadow Claw. Actually, no, I can Shadow Claw here. There is like the small possibility of them being like some kind of nasty plot or like Focus Energy setup. Better safe than sorry here because the Hydreigon's already weakened. So I think the play is just to always Sulcure here because it should pick up the KO after 2 residual hits plus the initial Sulcure. And then they double up Mimikyu, it's fine, right? They double up Garganical and pick up the knockout Shadow Claw into the Hydreigon. Then I can protect the following turn. I still have Disguise available. Then I Shadow Sneak the Hydreigon. The Meowscarada still taking Sulcure damage, and then Shadow Sneak will finish it off. So I felt like super safe about that. And yeah, I felt like I just had a guaranteed win con here by just going for the Sulcure instead of like, I don't have to waste a turn and potentially risk losing the game because like if they double Garganical, KO, Mimikyu I think solos the 1v2, Shadow Claw and the Shadow Sneak the Hydreigon. I still have Disguise available. And if they target my Mimikyu slot like they did, the Sulcure into the Hydreigon, the 25% residual damage I'm doing to their team, and then I just protect the following turn. So this Garganical really just showcasing how strong it is just sitting here. And yeah, my opponent wasn't able to get rid of the Pokemon partners that I had, really. The Excalibur was very bulky, the Mimikyu with the Disguise, of course, and the Go was able to take at least one double up, which was actually pretty important. Then we just protect for safety. And even if they focus energy, I don't know. I mean, life, I guess knockoff maybe into Draco Meteor would KO, but they don't survive the next Cell Cure hit right here. And they go for Flash Can again. I wonder if they even have Draco Meteor at this point. But at the end of the day, not very necessary at all, as Garganical will just sit here and watch these Pokemon getting cured. Well, then again, I guess the Meowscarada is going to survive, but it really does not matter because the Hydreigon's the big one. 25% for Steel Waters is so insane. It really is. Hydreigon eliminated, and now we can just target down the Meowscarada, which Soul Cure's always fine. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Meowscarada can't one-shot a Garganical. That is Terra Poison. So I can just Soul Cure, and if not, I just protect the following turn. Knockoff going to come out. Decent amount, but as you can see, just nowhere near enough damage. Soul Cure finishes off the Meowscarada, and that is good game. So no weak armor rouge, you know, little bit surprises, but I am able to take the win after pretty solid wide guard turn one. If they went for Helping Hand, I guess Armor Cannon, it could have gotten a little bit crazy, but I think I still should have been fine for the long term. But yeah, just the power of Garganical really showcasing that match and why it's so good. Tauros, Meowscarada. Oh, we have a mirror. Although it is kind of ordered differently, so trying to figure out, all right, what's the play here? What do I want to go? Because I have never played the mirror before. I'm trying to figure out, like, what do you even lead in the mirror? I want to say it's like Meowscarada plus Golden Go. You bring back Excalibur? Because I feel like the answer is no. It doesn't really do anything other than, I guess, Glide Rush. But Tauros is probably better for that. You bring Mimikyu into the mirror? I want to say no. You have a few things to get, but I don't think it's worth it. I think Meowscarada Golden Go is pretty fine. In the back, Tauros and Garganical. The thing is, you have to eliminate the Meowscarada on the opponent's side immediately because that is the biggest threat with the Focus Sash. But I mean, if you put in Aqua Jet range, this isn't too bad. Preserving my own Meowscarada might be important because they do have their own Tauros. I've never played the mirror, so we'll find out. I don't even know if Garganical is actually good in the mirror. We'll find out, but I imagine so. It's bulky. It can tank hits. We'll see. Meowscarada Golden Go. Okay. I think we know where this is leading, don't we? We're going to go for a knockoff into the Golden Go, and we're going to go for a... I could go into Tauros here, I guess, if I want to. It takes the knockoff, which you're going for always. Then I think that doesn't really work out because then you kind of just have... I think it's just Terra and Make It Rain knockoff here. I think we actually have to go to the speed ties. It's so silly, but I was like, can I avoid the situation if I go Tauros here? And maybe I should switch out to Meowscarada for the Tauros, because then I was like, I could get an Aqua Jet off into the Focus Sash Meowscarada, and that might not have been a bad play. I was thinking like, oh, if I swap out the Tauros for this slot, then the problem with that is, sacrificing the Garganical immediately. Okay. I mean, this works out because I also threat him a Sucker Punch, and they haven't actually broken my Sash on Meowscarada, so this is kind of a surprising move right here. Yeah, like I'm very actually surprised here because I guess you can knock off the Golden Go, but you do lose the Sash here, and you take so much damage on a Garganical. You're probably just going down realistically, even if you knock off my choice specs here. Yeah, we're gonna trade knockoffs. Not too surprising. And here goes a Make It Rain. Okay, I think now, since I got the damage on Meowscarada, I can go for Aqua Jet afterward. Ooh, Meowscarada survives, which is fine. That might be better for me, actually. Yeah, that is actually probably better for me. Because I can go for a Flower Trick into the Meowscarada slot. Because if they want to save it, they are going to get heavily punished. And then, what are their switch-ins? Not really anything. I'm just going to go for a Shadow Ball. Actually, I should knock off the Meowscarada. If they go Tauros is fine. Yeah, if they go Tauros is fine. Like, I think they just kind of lost off that turn 1 because they got kind of nothing. They go for wide guard, but yeah, I just get a double knockout here. If we win the speed tie too, we just guarantee it here. And yeah, looks like we do. So goodbye Masquerada, Shadow Ball. I still have a Sash proc. Yeah, it just does not look good for my opponent at all. As we did get rid of that Focus Sash, and I guess it depends on what they're... I mean, here's the thing though. If they have Tauros in the back, which I assume it's Tauros and the Golden Go. We already saw Golden Go. What did they lock themselves into? Because they still have their choice specs available. So if they KO my Golden Go, I just wide guard with the Garganical and just wide guard if my Golden Go goes down, and they lock themselves to make it rain. And yeah, it looks like we brought the same force, so that was correct, it seems. Okay. I don't know if Tauros lives the Flower Trick from Adamant. It could live from Jolly since I know the Tauros has some bulk. But yeah, I'm just going to go for a Shadow Ball into the Tauros slot. And I'm just going to protect the Masquerada. We're going to see a Terra come out from my opponent's side. Most likely going to be the Golden Go, I'd assume. Yep. All right. I mean, I'm still feeling pretty good about the situation because if I win the speed tie, I guarantee it. And if I don't, I mean, even if I don't, I think I still win the game. Like at this point, because they really can't break through the Garganical with next to my Tauros, even if they get through mine. All right, they go for a protect with their Tauros. This has to be make it rain, right? And that's why I don't want to switch in hard Garganical on the Golden Go, because I mean, our wide guard was actually really important for the choice specs since I didn't knock it off immediately. And this ends up working out just so huge in my favor. We're going to see make it rain. Please KO actually the Golden Go. Okay, it's a little bit weird that it survived. Is it? No, not really. Not really. I guess if they get double protect, it's weird. I just go hard Tauros here. I think actually no, they should. I think hard Tauros isn't a bad play here. Yeah, hard Tauros isn't a bad play here. They might go for a close combat. Yeah, I'm just gonna go hard Tauros and I'm gonna Shadow Ball the Tauros slot. The reason I'm gonna make this play is because I can Flower Trick wide guard the following turn. I think Masquerada next to a Garganical 100% seals up this end game, so I might as well just go for it. So we bring out Tauros. We're getting intimidated off. Not really that important. We might actually survive the turn, but we'll see. Tauros actually does go for the double, but it does fail it. Okay. I do get the necessary damage to put this thing into range of the Flower Trick, and Golden Go probably goes down to close combat, I'd imagine. So make it rain, -1 choice specs, still does a lot to Tauros, but I think I do win by just going out into my Masquerada, clicking Flower Trick into there. No, I would protect first. I just protect close combat. The Golden Go can't protect. I know that this is guaranteed win con because I close combat their Golden Go. If the Tauros survives the turn, if it doesn't, I just go out into Garganical, click wide guard, Flower Trick to Tauros, and yeah, that's 100% sealed. So that's like the position I wanted to win this game in, because I just need the extra damage on Tauros because I just didn't know if the Tauros was bulky enough. I know it has like quite a bit of bulk, which is why I wanted to go for this. Close combat into my Tauros. Again, it really does not matter. Tauros actually might even survive the make it rain from the Golden Go. We'll see here. Oh, I outspeed. Yeah, actually makes sense because we kind of spent time. Oh, it didn't actually KO the Golden Go, but I mean, it doesn't change anything at this point. Make it rain. Tauros should be going down here because of this special defense drop, but again, does not change anything. I click wide guard the following turn. That's exactly. I'm actually kind of surprised the close combat didn't KO Golden Go. Yeah, because it's specs, unless they change it, but even if they change it, like, it can't do anything, right? Because what's Shadow Ball doing to my team? Nothing. Focus Blast? Maybe? Don't even get me started on that. Wide guard, Flower Trick. Should 100% seal this. And that is the mirror. And yeah, I think you kind of just have to go for speed ties at that point, unless I switched out to Masquerada and a Tauros. I think that was also like a decent play, but yeah, this also works too. I'm able to get the Flower Trick off into Tauros. Goodbye. That's all we wanted this entire game, was getting rid of that Tauros for this end game. So Tauros is eliminated, and let's see if you actually have something right here up your sleeve. Make it rain. Yep, just not doing anything. And now Sucker Punch, Sulcure, because Golden Go does technically get recover. I mean, There's really no point. I think wide guard knockoff just secures it here. Because it should be specs. Battle's gonna be forfeit. Yep. There was really, as long as I clicked an attack at the golden go, I'm pretty sure I just guaranteed win, especially with the focus sash. So there really was not anything. Like choice scarf wouldn't have done anything. There was just nothing my opponent could do. Did have to risk turn 1, but that is kind of a mirror sometimes. Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Sylveon, Masquerada, Tyranitar, Lycanroc. Oh boy. There's some combos I don't like, especially since I don't know what the Dondozo Tatsugiri set on this team is. We know it's attack boosting, which is really awful actually for this team. So Tauros is at least good against the sand mode, so I am going to lead the Tauros. Tauros plus Garganico is probably like my... I just don't know what kind of Dondozo Tatsugiri is. On sand, I remember it was Terra Steel, but I don't know if it's evolved since then, so that makes it a little bit difficult. I think I want to go with... Ooh, I think it's Golden Go right here, or maybe it's Garganico, and we Terra Poison immediately, which isn't a bad play. Golden Go and the... Masquerada, I think, in the back. It's such a rough matchup, though. Dondozo Tatsugiri is definitely a rough matchup, especially because his attack boost. If it was speed boost, it really doesn't matter, but not knowing what the Dondozo type is specifically in Best of 1 is very difficult because you have so many different Dondozo sets. You have Dragon, you have Flying, you have the Steel one. Sometimes you have Grass and Ground, so yeah. Okay, Sylveon plus Masquerada. Not too bad. This should be a pretty safe just Salt Cure, Terra Poison immediately, and I will go for the Salt Cure, Terra Poison immediately. And a Protect. Yep. I just don't see a reason not to Terra Poison. There is really nothing I need on this team to Terra. Maybe Golden Go, I guess, but like it's not that big of a deal. Let's just Protect and let's go for a Salt Cure. Let's break a Sash on Masquerada. Actually, it shouldn't be Sash Masquerada when I think about it. We're gonna see a Terra immediately, which... Sylveon? Terra Water? Terra Fairy. Okay, extra damage output. Which doesn't really change anything for me, at least. I mean, it's more damage on Garganico, but... Like, at this point... I need to keep the Tauros around because I need Intimidate. I think I just always swap into my Golden Go to next turn and I click Recover. Or I can Salt Cure to Sylveon, both work too. Because this should be like Flower Trick into Tauros. Maybe they just knock off my Garganico, which I think is fine too. They did Flower Trick to Tauros or the Garganico? Okay, it is into Tauros. And Protean usually means it's Choice Banded, so that's actually really nice. They do go for the Hyper Voice, okay. And that works out really well for me actually, because now I'm able to get a free... Salt Cure, I think, this turn into the Sylveon, and then a... So yeah, I just go for Salt Cure into Sylveon, and I think I just swap out into my... What's it called? My Golden Go. Because Golden Go is a really safe pivot here. Now unless they go for the knockoff, but with Protean, you want to assume it's like Choice Banded, right? So I could have got maybe more advantage of like getting in Golden Go this turn 1, but I didn't feel like it was necessary, especially since I didn't know what the Masquerada was doing this turn. But yeah, we can go out into Golden Go. Super safe play. Let's build up some damage on Sylveon because having that residual is actually really important for my own Masquerada, as well as, I don't know if it's Babiri Berry on theirs. No, we already saw a Throat Spray, so it doesn't really change anything there. But I can just recover the next turn. Like, Recover is pretty safe the next turn. Or what I could do is I Salt Cure and I make it rain at a Masquerada slot. They could do Dondozo Tatsugiri, I guess, but it's all right. A Flower Trick into... Yep, they keep targeting down the Golden Go slot. So that does so much damage. That has to be banded. That has to be banded. Actually, you go down to the next Flower Trick, which is not pretty. I did not realize it was doing that much damage. Okay. I think it's all right. I do think it's okay. Okay. Just gotta make sure that the Masquerada is tamed a bit. I could go for... Well, I don't have Terra Steel anymore, so that's not an option. It's a little bit strange, I guess. I do have Sucker Punch, though. Sucker Punch could be an option, but I think I would rather Flower Trick to Sylveon. Upcoming. I mean, I always click Make It Rain here, and I recover. Maybe I should have Wide Guarded. I just didn't expect the Flower Trick to do that much, but I guess this Golden Go is not like the bulkiest Golden Go set. They protect Sylveon. Okay, that's actually perfect because I got a free recover off. Flower Trick should be always into my Golden Go. Yep, it is. All right. So I am perfectly acceptable with that. Next turn, I can Soul Cure the Meowscarada, I think, and Flower Trick afterward. I gotta watch out for Quick Attack on the Sylveon, which is kind of like my biggest concern at the moment. I kind of wish I got a Soul Cure, another Soul Cure hit it into Meowscarada right here, but it's okay. Yeah, it's still not bad. This damage has been adding up over time. Gonna go out into a Meowscarada right here, just protect right here and Soul Cure the Meowscarada slot on their turn. They're not an Overgrow yet, so feeling pretty good about this. I think another Soul Cure into another hit should allow me, and then Flower Trick should KO the Sylveon. The thing is, Meowscarada also pressures the Dondozo switch because they can never go for like a Dondozo swap Tatsugiri safely unless they call the target right, but of course, like it would be the Sylveon if I Flower Trick. We see actually the swap here, which is interesting, into the... They actually go hard on Dozo here. So is this Tatsugiri as well? Yeah, they do. Which I don't mind. They already used their Terra. Actually, yeah, this is completely fine. Yeah, this is completely fine because I've already have gotten a Soul Cure off into the Dondozo. Actually, yeah, Dondozo doesn't do anything because they use their Terra immediately. So at this point, I'm pretty sure I just go for a Flower Trick KO to Dondozo afterward. Although it is Adamant Dondozo, but I think I should still be all right. I don't know. It just doesn't seem really that good for my opponent. I do get the Soul Cure off into Dondozo, and now the damage is just going to build up. Leftovers, but Soul Cure, you're taking 25%. You should be guaranteed in range of Flower Trick. This Dondozo set... If you're Jolly, you outspeed Meowscarada, which is annoying, but if you're Adamant, you don't outspeed for sure. So, I mean, we're going for Flower Trick. We're going to Soul Cure the Dondozo because it doesn't really matter. Okay, we do outspeed the Dondozo, so I think this KOs. Yeah, it does. So, that was like the most underwhelming Dondozo I think I've played. The fact that I thought it would be a lot tougher to deal with, but then again, without a Terra, I guess that kind of shows how threatening Meowscarada is to Dondozo. And yeah, I was able to just get Soul Cure set up for the Tatsugiri. Now it's taking 25% every turn. And at this point, Salvage Dash Meowscarada, which is really threatening to their side of the field because Sylveon should be in range of Flower Trick, especially Adamant Flower Trick. Meowscarada going to come in. I think I just click double protect here, scout for what they're going to go for. If they switch out, it's okay too, because I can just sucker punch the Meowscarada if they don't go for a dark move here. You can't soak if they are Scarf Tatsugiri with the soak combination, my Organical, because of the Terra. Terra overrides the soak type change, so Organical double protect, we get extra damage on the Tatsugiri, and U-turn. Okay, and they transform it into a type, so I just, yeah, and if they lock themselves in like Muddy Water, I just click Wide Guard. Breakout. Okay, into Organical, completely all right. Soul Cure adding up on the Tatsu. I think I always just sucker punch the Meowscarada. Ooh, it's a berry actually. Okay. All right, it's a berry. I mean, Tauros isn't a bad play either. Yeah, Tauros isn't a bad play either. I'll just go Tauros here. And just Soul Cure, I think. Because like Citrus Berry Tatsugiri isn't that threatening. Actually... Well, I don't know if they would... They should be Jolly Max Speed, right? I don't think there's Adamant. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to Flower Trick here. I'm just going to go for a Soul Cure into the Meowscarada slot. Because there should never be a Adamant Scarf. So they activate my Overgrow. So I guarantee KO the Tatsugiri now with the Adamant Flower Trick. I get Soul Cure off into Sylveon. So this should secure the game. Because they couldn't be Scarf because we already saw Citrus. I could have also done like Flower Trick into Sylveon, but I don't really think it changes anything at this point. Like the Soul Cure, the Sylveon's trapped in now. It's taking residual. We could scout for the attack from the Meowscarada upcoming turn. And yeah, I just don't really see anything my opponent can do. I guess the Sylveon, since it doesn't need Terra Blast, could be like Calm Mind sub. But I mean, if it's sub Calm Mind, it doesn't matter because you can't recover enough. And yeah, as you can see, I'm just building up this damage from the Sulcure. The Sylveon probably has 4 turns maximum. And yeah, I just double protect this turn, so it's like 3. Because I want to Sucker Punch the Meowscarada potentially in this end game. I also have a Tauros in the back, so if they don't lock themselves in a Flower Trick, I think Tauros just cleans up the end game too. Aqua Jet cleans up, Sucker Punch cleans up. Just a lot of cleanup here. And that's the power of this Garganacl set. It's really just been doing the work. We've just been walling the entire team. And the thing is, we haven't let my opponent get a single really big knockout other than the, I guess, the Golden Go, which could have been denied. I could have went for Wide Guard that one turn, but I got a little bit greedy, I suppose, as they locked themselves in a knockoff. Okay. Perfect. And Yawn. That doesn't work on Garganacl. Actually, no, because we're immune to statuses, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're just immune to statuses. I mean, at this point, the game's over. We can go for a Flower Trick into the Sylveon. We can go for Sulcure. Our Tauros literally wins in the back because of the Sulcures. We go for a knockoff in the Garganacl to get rid of my leftovers. But at this point, Sylveon is now gone. And if Sulcure doesn't finish it off, even with the recoil, I just can do anything. Like, it doesn't matter what I click here. So, good game. No Sand Mode. Very nice, but Sand was pretty hard to bring unless you were doing Endeavor strat specifically, because Endeavor was kind of the weird part about dealing with the Sand Mode. But Sulcure, at least, like, I don't have to play like Focus Sash mind games or indoor mind games just because Sulcure with the residual damage just ignores that. So it was just so good right here. Like, Garganacl was so good against that Sand Mode. And this other mode just really couldn't break through at Terra Poison Garganacl. And since they used the Terra again on the Sylveon, Dondozo had no response. And yeah, they had enough Garganacl for one day. Scarlet, Quaquaval, Orthworm, Garchomp, Sylveon, and the Kilowatcher. Oh, this is the Wolf's Orthworm team. We've actually used this on this channel, and it was a pretty fun team. So after this video, you can go check it out, but let's figure out how to beat this now. Okay, now Choice Banded Garchomp's a little bit awkward, and I mean quite a little bit awkward, but you know what's really good? Excalibur is actually really good. Yeah, Excalibur is actually amazing into this. Excalibur is pretty good. I like my Garganacl is pretty solid here. I gotta watch out for Quaquaval. That's like one of the biggest threats, I suppose. Yeah, Quaquaval is probably one of the biggest threats. I think it's Garganacl Excalibur. Yeah, I like Garganacl Excalibur. I want to scout for like what they're gonna do otherwise. I think I had to bring Meowscarada and the Tauros. I like having Intimidate, but as well as a switch to Quaquaval. My only worry is Sylveon's actually a little bit scary, but I do have Wide Guard on Garganacl at least. So we'll see how this approaches. I also don't know who I'm Terraing in this matchup because I don't think Terra Poison does anything for me here. Yeah, Terra Poison doesn't do anything for the Garganacl unless I'm like 1v1ing Sylveon to resist a Hyper Voice, but it's not really necessary because Garganacl is just super bulky. Quaquaval plus Kilowatcher. Okay. Kind of weird. Terra Water. I mean, I could Icicle Spear and Protect. Actually, I just said how I wasn't going to go for the Terra with the Garganacl, but you know what? It's optimal here. It really is. I'm going to Protect Excalibur, and I'm just going to go for a Sulcure immediately into the Kilowatcher to put in range of Ice Shard. I was thinking of a few plays I could go for, like Icicle Spear potentially and Terra. I could have Terra'd my Excalibur. I don't think it's really necessary though. Yeah, I guess the Terra doesn't really super benefit me here, but it's like it's not a bad Terra here. Because I guess I also resist Orthworm's Body Press, which is actually pretty useful when I consider it. So maybe this won't be too bad. We'll find out. Orthworm didn't have Recover on this team. It had Shed Tail, so I should be super safe here. Yeah. Excalibur, gonna protect here. This should be like close combat maybe, and Tailwinds. They do go for the Tailwinds. Aqua Step into the Garganico, which is fine. It actually did a lot. Because it's Life Orb, right? Yeah, it is Life Orb. Okay. Good to confirm. Here comes a Soul Cure into the Kilowattrel. It's going to do a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Okay. I want to keep Excalibur alive because I do have Ice Shard on it. I got to watch out because the Garchomp could actually be like really scary if I let that thing come in freely. So yeah, at least we don't have to really worry about the Kilowattrel anymore. We're going to go for Ice Shard here and probably Tauros. Yeah, I like the Tauros play here. And then afterward, we have a few plays that we can make here. The Soul Cure is just going to still add up damage. Ice Shard's still really good unless they hard swap into Scarlet, I guess. But I don't think that's likely in the back, I think, at this rate. Because it's pretty weak against Tauros and Garganico. So we get intimidated off into the Quaquaval, which means we should survive any hit easily. Competitive, but we did go for the Ice Shard to cover for that. So they go for the Protect, which is fine. I also have Aqua Jet, so I can actually just save my Excalibur, and actually that's probably more ideal now that I think about it. Yeah, I could just Aqua Jet into swap afterwards. So yeah, this is still pretty ideal. Oh boy, that actually did so much more than I was expecting. But Excalibur is super bulky, so very nice of surviving that. Now we go for an Aqua Jet, and I want to say we always swap here into the Garganical, and we click Aqua Jet into the Kilowattrel. I wonder who they're going to say their Terra for, because that's what I'm really curious about. Who is the Terra? They're not switching to Garchomp, which is good for me, because you're not going to switch on a potential Ice Shard. I don't know. Kilowattrel didn't look like it protected, so I should be safe. I never give them the Moxie boost with the Quaquaval right here. They go for the Terra. Oh, this is Terra flying, right? But now they're weak to Ice Shard, so I guess it's not too bad. Because after the recall, you might actually just go down to Ice Shard. Yeah, I think that completely works. Yeah, that should be fine. I completely am forgetting these sets, but it's all right. Aqua Jet gonna come out, knock out the Kilowattrel. I mean, this should always be... I don't know. Are you Aqua Stepping or are you Brave Birding? You are Brave Birding here. Okay, into the Tauros, I imagine. Is this KO? I'm a bulky Tauros. Yeah, like I actually survived that, which is pretty insane. Okay. So that's really nice. Get leftovers recovery too. So what is coming in afterward? That's my question. I guess it makes sense because Garchomp can come in. Garchomp is going to be the biggest threat here, but Stomping Tantrum, I'm not really too worried about it. Because I do have Meowscarada in the back, and if they ever want to Terra Ground, I have Flower Trick for it. I think I only need like a little bit of damage in a Garchomp to put in Flower Trick range too, especially with the Ice Shard potential. I want to scout what the Garchomp's attack move here is. So I think we just double protect. My only concern is, I guess, if they swap into Orpharm right here for the Quaquaval, which I guess they could. But it looks like that's not going to be their play. Okay. Aqua Jet should KO their Quaquaval. I want to see what they lock themselves into, though. Is it going to be that Stomping Tantrum or Earthquake here? Because if it's Earthquake, I just click Wide Guard, right? And then they have a miserable time against my team, but we'll see. Yep, they clicked Earthquake. So Aqua Jet plus Wide Guard is super safe here. And I just don't have a reason not to, because even if they play passive right here and like swap out the Garchomp and protect the Quaquaval, I mean, I'm just getting leftovers recovery every single turn. So it's kind of thing. You're trying to play passive. It doesn't really help when you don't have any recovery other than that one mon. And yeah, Tailwind Peters out, but yeah, we just Wide Guard here. I'm pretty sure Aqua Jet KOs because it's no longer resisted and you are -1. Wide Guard here. What is our last Pokemon though? That's something I want to figure out here. Here comes an Aqua Jet into Quaquaval. It actually doesn't knock out, but I mean, they're going to knock themselves out into Life Orb, and I don't need Tauros to win the game at all. I actually prefer the free switch, I think. Yeah, I probably prefer the free switch now. Because now I could probably just Wide Guard Ice Shard here, Moxie Boost, but you're going down to your own Life Orb, which is a-okay for me. What's our last Pokemon? I guess Scarlet could be a thing. But if it's Scarlet, how fast was it? If it's Scarlet, they have to self-Earthquake. So, I mean, we're fine there. I'm trying to figure out, like, Orpharm? We're clicking Wide Guard Ice Shard. And I'm pretty sure we 1v1 Orpharm just because we have the Soul Cure here. So we go Excalibur here. And let's see who they're bringing out. Sylveon, okay. Even if it's quick attack, it's fine. Actually, we could just protect, right? We could just protect. No, we just wide guard, actually. No, we can't protect. Because I'm actually protecting the Garganical failing and then losing the game off that. Yeah. Don't want to do that. Let's just Ice Shard here and go for a wide guard. The reason we're going to... I guess this Terra Poison actually did come in handy for the Garganical in this game after all. I was kind of shocked on it, but it actually is because we resist the fairy now from the Sylveon. Ice Shard for the Garchomp. The only way you survive is if you go for the Terra. And even if you go for the Terra, you actually just lose the game outright because Masquerada comes in, outspeeds, Flower Trick KOs you, and then afterward, I just get the Soul Cure and the Sylveon. So, yeah. But then again, they already Terra'd their Quaquaval. So, I'm just doing this in case Ice Shard didn't KO. And it actually did not KO because Garchomp is insane. But you're actually doing so much damage to your own Sylveon at this point. I am 100% securing this game regardless. You shouldn't be clicking Hyper Voice here. Yeah. Oh, they crit their own Sylveon too. Oh, they know their own weak spots, of course, because they work together. But yeah, now we 100% win. Wide guard, Ice Shard once again. And Garganical is just so insane right now. It's actually crazy how well this thing has kind of just walled the opponents, but yeah, they can't do anything to Garganical, and it's just able to just wear them down slowly with that Soul Cure. Let's go over the games. Game 1 was solid as I was able to eliminate the Psychic types quickly, and then Terra Poison Garganical was very difficult for my opponent to eliminate. Game 2, the mirror was interesting, and going for the speed type might not have been the best, but my opponent did give me their Garganical, which was huge. I do think a Toro switch for Masquerada and Terra Make It Rain would have been a solid option since Masquerada is important in the mirror, and I would have been able to go for an Aqua Jet follow-up as well. Game 3, lead was great for me, and the Terra Poison Garganical gave my opponent so much trouble, while Masquerada was able to clean up the Dondozo in the back. Game 4 was scary as Quaquaval was doing a bunch of damage, but I was always able to deny getting a KO to get a Moxie boost. The Garchomp locking into Stomping Tantrum instead of Earthquake would have been tough to manage, but it would still have been a winnable game regardless. This team, as well as Jiseok, is absolutely nuts because he was able to top the ladder super early, a dominant performance throughout the month, and yeah, it was a really early team, and he was still able to do consistently well with it, making some edits as he went along. But it was a very fun team. If you do want to try it out, the rental code is on your screen available, and you can check out the details of the team, the report, and the creator down below in the description. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content.